Okay.
Victoria!
Gwen, what's up, girl?
Welcome to the first ever podcast YouTube of Roaring Women in Comedy, girl.
Woo! I'm so excited. Thank you
I
so much
know.
for having me.
Listen, so Victoria is the one who originally gave me the name, You Are Your Own Big Break. And I was like, this chick, wait, first of all, tell me how long you've been doing comedy? Tell everybody how long
I've been doing comedy since June, so it'll be 5 months now.
Exactly. And you know what? She's one of my most favorite newcomers. I mean, I'm new too, but she's new. I'm 2 years in, almost 2 years in. Victoria's 5 months in, and she's a really, really good joke writer. And I don't say that lightly.
I know.
I don't say that lightly. So this podcast and YouTube is going to be about women who are hustling in comedy currently. So we love our Wanda Sykes. We love Wanda Sykes. We love Chris Rock, and we love Dave Chappelle and all of them, but they were coming up in, back in the day.
Right.
So this podcast is about women who are currently coming up and what we're going through and some tips and all that good stuff. Also, we're not man haters. Let's get that out of the way. We're not man haters. Victoria, are you a man hater?
Girl, no.
We love men.
Yep, girl, we can't live without them.
I got the baby to prove
If I could, I would have already been doing it. I guarantee that. I'd be doing a lot better right now. No.
This is not a podcast about women are better than men and blah, blah, blah. It's like, listen, if you're a great comedian, you're a great comedian, no matter what. Man, right. Woman, gay, straight, bi, whatever. If you're great, you're great. So that's what this is about. But we want to highlight women because guess what? I always see tips on YouTube about comedy from men. Right. Why do you think that is, Victoria? Why do you think there's a bunch of men?
Personally, my opinion is this. Men always think that they already know, and they value their own opinion very well. And so they are confident enough to give their opinion and to do their own thing and put up and produce their own instruction. They might go to one comedy class and go, I can teach this. Like my uncle went to one of our shows and he called me up, and I thought it was to congratulate me. And he was like, I realize now I can be a comedian. And he did 20 minutes on the phone unsolicited. So I think they are just way more confident, and they just get out there and say, all right, I should make money. I'm going to charge. Let me start this YouTube video. And I'm just going to say what I think because I know I'm right, whether they're right or not.
Crazy. So what do you think? What do you think it is that women, where can we get that mindset? Where do we start?
For women, what we have to realize is that not all women, because not every woman is the same, right? But generally, we are very good at zoning in on the details. That's why I honestly believe that women are excellent writers in comedy, because we have a really good attention to detail. And so we will sometimes pick ourselves apart and if we're not perfect, we won't put it out there, instead of just stepping back and looking at the big picture and going, I don't suck, and I got to start somewhere, and I'm not going to personally make myself, put myself into it. In my own opinion, I'm just going to put out this product and separate myself from it. So women were more put as a job of like, okay, you are the product. Mm-hmm. And your job as a woman is to be the PR marketing director and push this product. It's not your job to judge if it's good enough. It's your job to do what you need to do to get it out there and just do your job. And I think that's where we could really get a lot more done as far as putting stuff out there. Because as you go along, you'll get better. And you can see a lot of men out there just stinking up the stage. But get them in here and they're much better because they get out there and they do it anyway until they get better.
They do. And you know what? That's what I love about men. I love men. I love you guys as don't give a fuck. You guys just don't give a fuck. You just go up there and be like, I'm just going to talk about my day and see what happens, Right. Versus for me, I got to write the joke. I got to punch it up. I got to edit it before I do an open mic. That's just me. Right. But
don't forget, rehearse it.
We got
we rehearsing for open mics. Like we get paid. Yes.
We're rehearsing it. It's oftentimes very funny in our head. And then we say it out loud and it's like, oh.
So gotta analyze it for a week after that. Right.
You know, the thing too with women, we're very good at empowering each other. You know, like we're so good at it. We're so good at gassing each other. Is that the word you guys use? I'm like, oh, like, aren't we good at like, do it, girl, you're good at it, you're good at it. But it's hard for us to do it for ourselves, which is a crazy thing, right? Like for ourselves, like for me, if it wasn't for Victoria, honestly, I probably wouldn't have put this out. Because it was Victoria that was like, just do it, you got to do it. And I was like, F it, I'm just going to do it. Why did I say F it like I'm PG?
Because we're trying to get sponsorship. So F that. Cut that check.
So we're good. But okay, so do you feel like women should draw the line somewhere though? Where is it between like, okay, you empower a woman, but you got to do it truthfully so that not everybody is like fake gassing each other is like what I call it, you know?
I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I feel that I've seen it, like there is something where you go just too far. And you tell your friend, this is great. And then they go on stage and they just face plant because you were laughing and it wasn't funny and blah, blah, blah. I think, you know, there's two levels of when you're testing your material. One level, you are open for the most brutal criticism possible. And on the other level, you just need support. And so I think as women, like we have to really be clear with our friends and go, girl, either I'm looking for support, so just laugh, or girl, I need to know the truth. Right. And then we look eye to eye and go, okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Right. Yeah.
At that point, you got to carve that set up so that your friend can get better. And then as a friend, you have to receive it and not personalize it, because the purpose is to make your work as good as possible. So I think it's just a conversation because and here's the other thing. Men and women are actually similar in this way. Like a lot of men get really sensitive if you give them honest feedback about their material. You know, they get very defensive too. So it's just about, look, what do you do? Are you telling me a joke because you want me to hear it? Are you telling me a joke because you want me to listen? And give you honest, brutal feedback because you don't want to be out here looking like a fool.
I have this rule where if I don't have something constructive, okay, so I'm very careful about, it's just being aware of who you can talk to about what, right? So let's say with Victoria, and one of my favorite things about my comedy tribe is, so Victoria, if she says a joke and I can think of a punch up that'll help, I'm gonna offer the punch up.
Right.
But unless Victoria asks me personally, like, Lynn, what do you think of this joke? I'm not gonna give her any, you know, unconstructive feedback. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Right. So, but if Victoria was like, Lynn, tell me honestly what you think, I'll be like, okay, cool. This is what I think. Right.
Yes, you would.
And with Victoria, I could be like, girl, you just need to punch it up, or like something. But, you know, so I'm not going to go and offer that kind of stuff to people unless they ask me. But really, but for punch ups, I would, if I know that you will take it, if you're open to it.
And I think that's another thing, like when you're trying to build, like you said, your tribe, like you're going to have comedians that have all different styles.
Right.
So, and then you have comedians where you really respect their writing style, or you really you write similarly. And so you'll look to them a lot more for a punch up than you'll look to somebody else that style is totally different than you, although they're just as funny as you. And so it's the same thing when you offer your own, like if you're in a writing group, that's what it's for. Although sometimes people will just go, I don't want feedback, laugh or don't laugh, and then leave me alone. And I'll keep it myself. But I think, you know, it has to be, we got to be more open to receiving the feedback, and we got to put ourselves outside of it. Go, this is art. And go, do I want this to be the best joke? Do I want blunt? I don't have to take it, but I need to hear it because maybe what they say will give me what I need to improve it, even if I don't take their specific advice. Like my family, my mom is just mean. She's mean with her feedback. And she always tries to offer punch-ups. My brother's punch-ups are always sexual. And none of them are my style.
I know.
But I know, based on what they're saying, that the joke is not hitting.
Right, right.
Work on it, and whatever part they're talking about is the part that's not hitting.
Right. And you know, for new comedians too, like once your friend, my friends found out that I just started like around your time, maybe like a month in or something, they're like, I have some material ideas for you, you know? And you're just like, but it's not like that in comedy. It's not like that in stand-up. Like I'm not writing a sketch or I'm not writing a series. I'm writing stand-up, which is very different writing from sitcom and sketches and improv. It's different. And I can't just talk about any material. I have to love that material.
Right.
I'm the only one delivering it on stage and bombing myself.
And that's why your stuff hits so strong when you do your material, because you have such a personal connection to it. When you deliver it, it's like boom, boom, boom. And it's coming from your gut, from your heart, and from your mind, as opposed to like, this would be really funny. It's like, no, this is my life.
Right.
And I have a real true perspective on it. And that's why the jokes are well written, but the jokes are very personal and they have a whole lot of emotion behind it, even though you don't put a lot of extra oomph on it. It's there, just in your eyes is there.
Right. Oh, so it's kind of like, yeah, you know what? I'm very big on writers who like really dig deep and just go there, you know? Like I haven't been doing comedy that long, but in 2 years I've listened to so much material and I'm just like, I don't want to hear another joke about Starbucks coffee. Or whatever it is, you know, and again, if it's your style, then that's your style.
If you work there, no.
There's this thing, I was talking to my friend today who was a producer, stand-up producer, and you know how they say comedy is subjective, right?
It is.
Comedy is subjective, okay. But as a producer, I just would like 99% of the audience to subjectively think you're funny.
That's fair.
Does that make sense?
Like some people just trying to be artists. They're trying to play to an audience of their dog and cat. Then that's fine. You could be as different as you want to be, but if you would like to get paid, I would suggest somebody else know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we just want to know who you are. That's all. When you're doing stand up, I want to know who you are. I want to know your flaws. I want to know what is, even if you're not aware of your flaws, which is even funnier if you're not. I want to be able to see it. You know.
It is funny if you're not. And I think that's the other part that, like, you know, like I said, you know, and you know, I'm brand new. But the thing that I fell in love with more than just the art of writing of comedy was that, you know, someone said, like, the thing that makes your comedy the most fun is when you accept that every part of you is perfect and you're willing to put it all out there, because those little things, like you said, the flaws, the most embarrassing things that have happened to you, the things that you've hidden, are the things that are the funniest. And then you're healing yourself by laughing about it as opposed to hiding it. So it's like a self-healing process. And then everybody else that can relate, like one of mine is my independent woman titties. Like, celebrate it. You know what I mean? And every woman out there that is gifted with titties that's gonna make you have to take care of yourself for the rest of your life is laughing, because they know nobody's holding doors for us. We're putting our bags in the overhead bins. That's what they're made for. And they're laughing, right, because they relate to it.
That is hilarious. I wish I knew about that. Because I have kept titties. I have big boobs, but I've never used it to my advantage, except when I was doing massages. When I was doing massages, I was making money from doing topless massages. You know?
Right.
They didn't have to touch it. They just looked at it and they gave me money. I was like, damn, men don't even have to touch me and they give me money.
I'm so jealous right now, Lynn. But your jobs, I am jealous.
That's your signature. That's a signature bit. Your kept woman titties.
I'm working on it, because they're gonna have to make me some money, because ain't no man gonna pay me. They're gonna have to make the money for me.
So what is it that you admire in comedians? What do you admire?
I admire the comedians that say the stuff that I'm thinking with pride and confidence. Like My all-time favorite, you know, this is a woman's show, but I gotta, like, we share a birthday, is Chris Rock. Chris Rock came through, and he came hard, and he flipped politics and everything else upside down to the point where he was getting banned from cities. And then he came through on that next album, was like bigger and blacker.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? Wanda Sykes. When she came through, like, it was just like a FU to everybody in a very, like, smart way. Like, none of this makes sense. And nobody's willing to say it. Well, here it goes.
Yeah.
That's what I like. The politically obvious, intelligent comedians that are not afraid to buck the system. That's what I admire most, because they're the ones that put their money on the line the most, to be honest.
They sure do. Do you think they were always like that when they first started, or do you think they waited until they were a little bit more successful and then they're like, all right, I can say whatever I want now?
I have a feeling a lot of them waited, especially because, you know, when you're first starting, like, you want more than anything approval.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so a lot of this political, like, all this controversial stuff, it is risky. You know? And so I think in the beginning, they probably were a lot more just into getting that laugh. And then as they got more confident into, like, no, like, I have a purpose. I'm an artist. I'm not a clown. And so my art has to speak for me.
Yeah.
And express me. And so I think after they got to that point, they finally said, okay, this is who I am. This is what I have to say. Like it or don't, because I already got that check. I already paid off my debt, and I got this house. So
I can't. Chappelle is my alter ego. Wanda Sykes is my alter. I'm telling you, I'm just like, dang, you know, to be able to write like that, and to write it so cleverly, like it's very well thought of. And then we see a lot of open micers or whatever who try to be that, but it's like, you remember that documentary I had you watch, which was called what was it called?
Dying
Laughing. Okay, that one comedian, I forgot who it was, but he said, I take it very personal when I bomb, because they're not, what the audience is saying is that I don't like you. Because you're the only one standing up there, right? And it's you talking about you. So if you're bombing, they're like, I just don't buy into whatever it is that's happening on that stage right now.
That hit me hard.
Yeah.
That's really hard, because he's right. And, you know, like, I haven't had the blessing of bombing. I've had the blessing of doing not as well as I wanted, for sure.
By the way, Victoria messaged me. She's like, oh my God, that was terrible. I was like, I'm glad it was.
Yes, you did. And I was like, dang, I'm having flashbacks to my mama. It's like, good, get better, do it right the next time. Let that be a lesson. That's how you get good. Take your lumps and get up. Do it again. Or like he was like, don't end in error. If you in error, you got to do it again. Do it again. Do it again. So yeah, like when you said that, I'm glad that happened. It just kicked me right into gear. Like, you know what? Me too. Because I was getting way too arrogant. I need to understand. I need to work for this. I need to rehearse for this. I don't need to show up with brand new stuff.
Which a lot of us new people are like, we're like, my God, I've been saying the same set for like 2 weeks. I need new material. But it's like,
I was trying to write new 5 minutes for every show I did. And I'm working like 60 hours a week. Like, dang it, I didn't get to do open mics. I'm pretty sure this is good. It's got the structure. And then I called my brother. He's like, yeah, that'll work. Because he was probably trying to get off the phone. I was not pleased.
So funny how you know that when in doubt, here's a tip. When in doubt, do the hits.
I will never.
You got your hits. Yeah, and then you just do those hits when you're like, oh man, I'm not prepared. Well, I got my hits. Yeah. Everybody's got that tight 5, you know.
I'm telling you, like, I have my tight 5, or as tight as it's gonna be for 5 months doing comedy. It's a tight 5 for 5 months. And what you're gonna get, if anybody says, all right, we need you to do something, and I've been working 12-hour days, hit them with the classic old school Destiny's Child. Bring it out. I'm a survivor. They gonna love it.
Because Lisa Sunstant, who is our comedy teacher for Pretty Funny Women, who's amazing, by the way, she said one in one of my classes, and I've told you this to Victoria, where she goes, people go to a Beyonce concert to hear her classics. They go to hear her hits. They want to hear the new stuff, but they also want to hear Single Ladies and Dangerously in Love, and they want to hear all that, It's the same thing with jokes.
Yep, I agree. Like I learned it well. I literally learned it well. That's all I can say.
I love it. So do you like open mics? Victoria hosts open mics for Pretty Funny Women on Fridays.
Yes, if you guys want to come through, like I do it at least once a month that I host, but it's always a good experience. It's a safe place. No racist, homophobic, transphobic, sexist material allowed. So you got to sit that for church. When you're in the open mic, it's just a lot of fun. Bring some wine and enjoy. I love open mics because as a beginner, like for me, my journey is about being an artist. I keep saying it because that's what my journey is.
Right.
Like releasing my inner self-expression. And an open mic is whatever I want it to be. Right. So it can be my show if that's what I want it to be. And because they're so available everywhere, it's like nobody can stop me from being a comedian. As long as nobody has to hire me, nobody has to do anything. I am a comedian anytime I want to be.
Yeah.
And I love that. So I love open mics. Like, can I say that? Do I love waiting in open mic? Waiting for my turn? Sometimes I like waiting for my turn. Yeah. But I like when it is my turn. I love it when it's my turn on the open.
So do you feel there's a difference between an open mic joke and a show joke?
Open mic joke, no holds barred, it can be as rough as you want it to be, depending on what the rules are. And it can also be as bad as far as like it can suck as much. Yeah. Like it does not have to be good. You shouldn't even think about that. Like for me, I don't even think about that. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to commit to this thing and see what happens in the open mic, because it's workshop. It's artist on artist workshopping. And so the open mic is going to tell me what I need to do with that joke. Like my type 5 for 5 months. I ran it through like a couple of open mics straight back to back. And I like recorded myself doing it. And everywhere I would see a lull, I go, okay. See if that happens next time. Okay. Do I even need that line? Next one, I'll take it out. All right. That's it.
So, but do you I like that, by the way, your mentality about an open mic, because that's my son sneezing.
Bless you, Ethan.
Because I was never like that. I was very careful. I just don't have that talent you have, and a lot of other comics have, that you can just rant and be funny. Some people have that rant and they're funny, and some people rant and they're just not funny. That's me. I'm a very like craft my jokes for 8 weeks funny. That's me.
I'm gonna get you back. Call me in 8 weeks. I gotta come back to your ass. You want to talk smart in Walmart? I will see you in 8 weeks with my sheet of paper ready to serve your ass.
But like, do you notice the difference between, okay, so some people are like, I'm killing at an open mic. Everybody at the open mic thought this joke was hilarious. And then they do the joke at a show and it like, they eat a dick. You call it face planting. I call it eating a dick.
I've seen that happen. I actually saw that happen this week. I went to a mic and a joke killed. And I also laughed. I thought it was funny. I forwarded the video to my family. And everybody in my family was like, I don't get it. Like maybe it was funny. So I think it's like sometimes the vibe of the mic, when we get together, it's like, oh, we having so much fun and feeling so receptive. And then also like, kind of like with women, if we all bond together and we start talking about periods and stuff like that, it's like, ah, but then you get, at the corporate gig and they're like, or dudes, they're talking about buttholes and farts and they're like dying, belly just aching, about to give birth, and then yeah, they do it at the baby shower, and people are like,
they're like, she's a comedian or no? Because see, the thing is, one of my biggest pet peeves is like, knowing the difference between funny at brunch and funny at a show. Like, it's very different. Like, you can use the jokes that you say at brunch and all your friends laugh and you're like, oh, I got to write that down. Then you got to take that same joke and then format it to a stand-up joke, because it's very different.
That's another thing I learned from you. Like, you hit me with that whole, you got to get a laugh at the very minimum every 15 seconds.
Right.
You did that. I was like, oh, like, all right, I'm on it. You know, because it is like, nobody's going to wait for you to get to the point. Nobody cares about, you know, your backstory with Brad. You know, like, all your friends know that. They probably are laughing because they're like,
yeah,
drunk off that mimosa. So if it is funny, yeah, you write the concept down, but then you got to go, all right, do I got a rule of three? Do I got an element of surprise? Do I got all of these things that are going to trigger somebody in this audience to laugh enough to hear this whole thing?
yeah.
Pretty much it. Because once you lose them, they get mad and they're like,
they do. You know, the thing is too, like in a comedy club, like let's say for the Comedy Store, right? What I've learned is that in the Comedy Store, I've never performed in the big main room where there's like 300 people, but in the original room, there's like almost 200, right? People who come to the Comedy Store and pay 20 something dollars a ticket, 2-drink minimum, parking, drive in LA traffic, they're not trying to come to the show to watch you bomb. Like, they don't want to see that, and they'll tell you, they just won't laugh. Like, they don't do these like family and friends, haha, supportive, you know, laugh. They'll just sit there and, you know, you get a and then a few, you know, and then sprinkled in there somewhere you'll get
like, dang, so I didn't go deaf because I just heard something. Damn it, I was hoping. I lost my hearing. Shit.
They're like, and you're like, man, you know, yeah. So
it makes it worse, right?
Yeah, no, they don't care. Those audiences are like, I'm not your family or friend. I'm not gonna just laugh because I feel bad for you. Like, I paid money. I want to see comedy.
And depending on how late it is, like, you know, before I started doing comedy, I was a comedy connoisseur. Like, I'd be over at the Hollywood Improv, the Laugh Factory. I go to Comedy Union. Like, I wanted to see, I love watching comedy.
Me too.
And yeah, every once in a while I have somebody that will completely bomb. And my bedtime is 8. So if I'm out after 8 and I know I got 3 more people and you up here just treading water, I'm upset because I know, like, this is extra time. If you just go, that's like another 15 minutes on the way home and I can go straight to bed. So it's so many reasons why people are not wasting their time laughing if it's not. It's almost like I'm not going to encourage you to keep going. Let's just.
Like that one guy that said, is it Gerard? He said, bomb on your own time.
Bomb on your own time if you can. Like, it's true, you know, and I can't even hate, because honestly, like, if I'm not doing well, my arrogance will be like, that's all right, because I got a closer for them. Like, I'm going to infuriate this whole audience with how much I'm sucking, but this last joke, don't kill them. They're going to all add me on Instagram after this. Got my t-shirt. They have to hear it. I wrote these jokes. It's not about you.
That is hilarious. Holy shit. You know, there's just so much components, I guess, to being a stand-up. Like, there's just so much. You got to perform it, deliver it, write it, be truthful about it. You got to be self-aware, right?
Right.
That's another thing too. Like, I like it when people are self-aware. Just be aware, like you said, like, you know, when you're just not doing well, you know,
Correct.
Just know that, or know that, okay, I'm not doing well, I need to get better, or I'm not doing well, where can I learn to get better, or whatever it is. If you want to get better, if you don't, that's fine too, you know, to each their own. But this, I made this podcast because I want to talk to the women who want to get better, who want to be really, really good at it. And these are like all my favorite people.
Aww.
Seriously, like all of the people who I feel go see their shows now when it's like $5 because when their shows are like $300 like Ali Wong, you're gonna be mad.
Yeah, you could have been hearing me talk about my dad whooping me for $5. Look at you now.
So what have you learned about yourself in comedy?
What have I learned about myself? I've learned that I'm a people pleaser. And I feel like that's going to be one of my biggest challenges in comedy, knowing what I want to say and compared to what people want to receive and finding that perfect balance. Another thing that I've learned about myself is that I don't know, like I'm in love with this writing. I'm in love with this self-expression part. And I think the thing that I learned about it is like, you do have to love it because what I learned about myself is that I work hard at everything I do, but it's something about this that even when I'm doing bad, it's like I want to do it more. Like when that show didn't work out, I got up 8 a.m. and was like, let me get on a mic. And I was on a mic at 8 in the morning, running that same set, trying to figure out what was wrong.
Nice.
And, you know, in Lisa's class, in her beginner class, it was rough. And we were doing some, you know, we were learning all different types. And my late night jokes that first time around, bombed horribly. Lisa was like, what is that? Was that Tupac you were rapping? You see, is that a Tupac act out? What is that Nene? Like it was, and then literally most people be crushed. And I was like, all right, I went on and I logged in. I started taking $25 a la carte classes. And by the intermediate class, I was like, I will. And so let me know that like they say you got to work so hard. But if you love it, like you don't really, because you always want to do it. Like you always want to do it.
Right.
And I think the last thing I learned is just that like, I'm probably going to have to be celibate because the thing that I learned most is like from observation is like penises with like progress. It's like perpendicular. And you know what I mean? It's like this does not happen. And so it's like, you know, me being the people pleaser that I am, and I'm like old school and very sensitive. And like, I just feel like I'm gonna have to be like Oprah. Or, you know, a nun or someone, because I'm so passionate about this and I really don't want to spend my time doing anything else. And I just.
Oh, I'm glad. You know, this is, people are going to hate me if men are listening to this and I don't get this name right. They're going to hate me, but you know, like Nate Bargatze. Sorry. Anyway, he's a white man. Enough people know his name. It's fine. Anyway, he's a really big comedian. But one of his tips was, if you don't have a wife, a girlfriend, kids, keep it that way. That's what he was telling the young comics. He's like, just keep it that way because, you know, you're going to want to do this. If you want to get really good at it, you know, if you don't have the right wife, kids, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that's why I'm staying single. Forget that because, you know, I'm too excited about life right now. And I found my self-respect finally through comedy. You know, I'm not just running around with these OkCupid dudes, like trying to date somebody with air conditioning so I can go sit over there. You know what I mean? Like,
so LA, you got AC? You said you married? Is she home?
You know, now I just have my own AC and doing comedy, and you know, it's a beautiful thing. You know, single. I'm telling you, being a single mom for me is a blessing.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do it with, you know, a boyfriend or a husband or whatever, because I get like that. Like I get too like into the person.
Yes, that's so true. It's like it's one or the other. You know, that because for me, I feel infatuated right now with comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I become infatuated with somebody, which I always do, like I said, I do everything 110.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's like, it just takes away the motivation, because I want to do the comedy, but then I want to talk to this person. And then God forbid they don't talk to me for a day. Well, shit. Now I'm gonna have to go to the spa and, like, you know, get a healing meditation and cleansing, because everything is all screwed up. Like, I just want this, like, I feel stable right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like as productive as I can be working all this the time that I'm working right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just kind of watch and see like people that are in that phase of their life, and especially like new dating and, you know, screwing around. It's like it can be a distraction.
Right.
Yeah, I think as long as I can hold out.
Yeah. Because people are always like, well, the right person. I'm open to the right person. Like, you'd have to really be the right person. I'm not even opposed to dating a comedian, because at least he'll know, like a good comedian, at least he'll know like what I'm going through and why I have to go to open mics and why I have to do late nights. And, you know, if they're not in the industry, they might not understand 100%. I'm also open to stay-at-home dads.
You know, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Like, you know, but then they're going to be like, Lynn, why don't you spend time with us? You'd be like, because I don't like y'all. And also I'm working. I don't know. Would you really wouldn't you be scared a comedian would like roast you if y'all broke up and like put all your business on the street and his material and everybody would know it was you?
No, I don't care about that.
Really?
No.
Girl,
fair game. I would be roasting him too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it would just have to be the right person. I'm not just gonna date anybody for fun. I'd rather not. I'd rather just
Eminem.
Oh my God. Eminem. You know what? But here's the thing though. If Eminem was like, I need you to quit comedy, I wouldn't date him. I wouldn't give up comedy for anything but my son. That's the only thing. If I had to choose, you know, of course, right? But any man, any kind of nothing. No, I wouldn't give it up. That's what it means to me. You know, this doesn't mean that's how it is for everybody. But for me, that's how much value I see in it. You know?
Yeah, like I get that too. And especially because, you know, like I said, like comedy is pretty free. Like as you move up, it's not as free as far as like the ability to do it in different ways. But like, yeah, like it is a passion. People that do it is a passion. Like it's hard to explain. It's like as soon as I get in the tub, like it's like, oh, where is my paper? Oh, this is good. I just start telling jokes in the bathtub.
Right.
I record this. Like it just.
You know what, too, Victoria? You have a natural talent for it, though. You do. Not everyone has a natural talent to be a comedian. Does that make sense? Like some funny people they have a natural talent in writing for you know, they have a natural talent for writing or natural talent for improv, or producing. Some people are fucking killer producers, right? But they can't tell a joke to save their life. You know what I mean? But you have a natural talent, in my opinion, for stand-up.
Thank you.
You have stand-up jokes.
Thank you. I work hard. I work very hard.
And I feel like we have to be obsessive like that, though. A healthy amount of obsessive, you know?
Right. Like
if we want to get better.
Drive. It's like, it's not like a drug, but it's a drive. It's like a strong drive that you're always thinking about it. Yeah. You're always like looking to get to it. You're always, you know, and so much stuff is going on. People are being stupid 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? And you gotta address it. You know, especially me. Like I work a day job as an accountant.
Damn.
You gotta address it.
That's so crazy because most accountants are like kind of boring.
But that's what my writing group people say. They're like, you an accountant and you read tarot cards and you doing comedy. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know.
Did you say you read tarot cards?
I do read tarot cards.
Shut up.
I do tarot. I read Akashic records. Like,
listen, I love me some tarot cards. I believe in that stuff.
Yeah, I'll totally give you a reading one day, and we can do that.
Girl, we about to do that. So if you need tarot card reading, you can also hit up Victoria for that. Yeah. If you need numbers crunched, you can hit up Victoria for that.
Right. You know, I'm very organized and also spiritual and funny.
Yeah, there you go. You get so many in one person. What is your, okay, we're about to wrap up, but what is your pet peeve about comedians? So far, I know you're new, but so far, what's your pet peeve? That shit's gonna grow.
When they're so arrogant that they don't want feedback, but they pretend like they do want feedback. Because I feel like, no, actually scratch that. That's not my pet peeve. I don't care about those people. They're just strong-willed and they'll get there on their own. I don't like people that are not supportive of other comedians. Like, if we're doing something, you don't care about this group here that's all trying to work together to get these laughs. You just do yours and you out. Or you just do your own thing. You don't even bother to listen to somebody else and see like, oh, hey, girl, that was really good. Let me send you a message of encouragement, or let me send you a quick punch up. You know, I just don't like people that are just so self-centered in their world. Yeah. They're like me, and then anybody else that comes, I'm checked out.
Do you think a lot of men do that more than women, or do you see it in both?
I see it in both. I see it in both, and it irks me every time, because I'm like, yo, we all sat here and supported you. You was not even killing it in this game. What you do? You know, just give your time and your energy for others, because you know, it's a mutual thing. Like, we all need to be, especially as women. Men, you know, women feel like the lane has been cut off for them, because it has. But you know why? Because the men paved the lane, and so they could choose who gets on it or not. So we have to pave our own lane, and that's why we have to work together. We have to support each other. We have to be there for each other. We got to have mutual support, and then that way we don't even got to ask to drive on their lane. Who gives a shit? You roll your little dump truck up and down the street. I give no shits. Ours is way more better paved. It's beautiful, and it's maintained. You know, we gotta do it ourselves. And so I think that's why the support thing is my biggest pet peeve. Is like, stop. We need to all be there for each other, and we need to mutually support each other as best as possible, given whatever your internal personal issues are. Your best to be supportive.
I've seen people women, I don't know if I personally never come across a thing where, oh, men are disrespectful to me. Like, I've never experienced that. Maybe because I'm older and they're like, respect your elders. They're like, don't bother. But I've never come across it, thankfully, you know, and plus nowadays, you know, men they're just not like that anymore, maybe. But anyway, but with women, if they can't stay for my turn at an open mic or something, they always send me a message, right? Like you said, they always tap me on the shoulder and be like, I really have to go to another mic. I'm really sorry, but kill it. You know, they don't just come in, do their thing and leave and not give a crap, you know?
Right.
Which I think that's awesome. I mean, if you got to hustle, you got to hustle. I get it. But send an acknowledgement, send a support thing. That's what women are really good at, you know?
Right. We just gotta keep doing it for each other, because we're gonna be the ones providing the opportunities for each other. And I really do believe that women do have a natural gift for writing, because the writing requires detail. And we are really good at picking out each little fine print and figuring out what works when we apply ourselves to it. And I think that when we create our own avenue, it's not even going to be a question of how good it is. You know,
I agree.
It's a matter of do it yourself. Don't have somebody tell you you're welcome to come over here. Do it yourself.
Just do it. You are your own big break, girl.
That's right.
You got to make that shit happen. You got to make it happen. You got to make it happen. You know what? Someone will take notice. Listen, if we just got to do our best, and then if it's meant for us, it's going to happen. The rest is up to the universe. But as long as I'm doing my best, you know?
And if you love it, you're going to get better. You will always get better. If you love what you're doing, you're going to get better. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just start.
That's true. Because I will never get better at cooking because I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I'm never going to get good at washing dishes. I hate all of it. But okay, so let's end on this. What is your tip for newbies who are just starting? Because you're in the trenches now. So what do you want to share with them? People who want to start comedy.
Okay, newbies that are like me, that are very analytical, get in a class. Get in a class so you can put structure to what you're trying to do, so you're not bumping your head up against wasting time in the beginning learning. What do I need you to do starting out? And also give yourself permission to suck long enough to get good. Do not judge yourself in the beginning, no matter how bad it is. You are not Chris Rock. You are not Dave Chappelle. You are not Wanda Sykes. Dave has been doing comedy since he was 15 years old.
Whoa, yeah.
He probably sucked ass in the beginning. So you have to be bad. Don't let your family tell you need to be better. Do what you do and keep doing it, and give yourself permission to suck until you get better. And no, I'm going to be bad until I'm good. I just got to keep doing it and practicing with people that know what they're doing. Don't suck by yourself. Well, that can go a lot of ways. Don't be bad all by yourself with nobody to guide you. Be bad under people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And surround yourself always with people that are way better than you. And don't let it get you down. Be the worst in the room always, because that's the only way you get better. If you're the best in the room, you will never get better.
Right.
Always be the worst. As soon as you feel like you're leveling up, move on.
Yeah.
To the next one, get worst.
I agree with you.
That's my advice.
Yay! I love it. See, that's what I'm talking about. We're truthful, but we're still empowering. You know, we're not just fluffing over here. I love that word, fluff.
Yeah, not only this wig got fluff this morning.
We're not fluffy girls just talking.
No, you're telling women you better get on your job. You say you want to be independent. Look at you. You got all the rights that your ancestors got for you. All right. You have no excuse. You can make money. You can do whatever you want. Nobody can beat you without going to jail. There are rules in place to protect your ass. You have no excuse not to run this shit. So run it. I don't want to hear anything else. Right. Run this shit. Own your business. You are the PR. Your comedy or whatever you're doing is the product. Take your feelings out of it and push it. That is your job. And your retirement for all of your ancestors that couldn't do that shit, that were more than talented and could not do it.
Damn, see, I'm inspired.
See, I was preaching now because you know I'm from the South. We be preaching.
But you know what? It made sense, though. I don't mind preaching as long as it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by this. I'm inspired by you.
Yeah.
I really am. If I have you on this podcast, that means I'm inspired by you. I love you. I admire everything you do. I like you as a person. You're funny. When's your next show, girl? Tell everybody.
Okay, so I'm doing a Biden-Harris show. It's going to be on my, you can find the information on my Instagram. That's at Victoria Stand Up, like stand-up comedy, at Victoria Stand Up. It's free, y'all. And it's a Biden-Harris show. And it's music, it's comedy. And so, and it's on Sunday. So check it out.
Come and hear it. She's funny as hell. She's funny. Any last words? We good? Thank you so much. Thank you for being the first guest. I'm really excited about this journey.
Me too. And I congratulate you, Lynn, because you inspire me as well. And I love who you are. I love that you are what you are unapologetically. And I definitely love your comedy. And when I said put myself around people that are better than me, not better than me, like class, whatever, but definitely like people that are skilled, that have skills that are better than mine. You were somebody I'm talking about. Like I surround myself with people that can show me what to do. So respect.
It's mutual. It's mutual. Ditto. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Catch Victoria at, I'm going to put her, hopefully I know how to do that, but I'm going to put her Instagram handle at Victoria Stand Up. You're watching and listening to Roaring Women in Comedy. Do you like that title better than Divas of Comedy?
Well, then we can't do this. Like, if we're divas, we gotta be like, where's my water? And I need Skittles, all purple. No, I like.
Listen, you don't need to wait for the man to do anything for you. You are your own big break. Get it? Thank you, Victoria. Love you so much.
And love you.
Bye.
Bye.